Hello, Internet! It's once again time for making stuff with Anik, I guess. This week it's not the waistcoat that I was working on for the past 2 weeks. Instead I want to make a brooch, or a brooch, I think that's the correct pronunciation. It's not something I would usually make, but it started as thinking that I should try some embroidery. Like, I watched some videos and it seemed like neat that you could make a picture. And then I wanted to make it cool, you know, like everyone's seen the Game of Thrones embroidery. Hey! Yukimiko, welcome back to the stream. So everyone's seen that Game of Thrones embroidery with all the beads and the 3D effects and stuff. I was kind of getting into that, and then I noticed that when I googled embroidery with beads, I ended up people who embroider only beads and put them around cabochons and stuff. And now I made some glow-in-the-dark cabochons, and why not make them glow a bit more by adding some LEDs? So that's the plan. I've got this design for a moon-themed brooch. I'll show you. It's also on the screen, I guess. So I've got 3 cabochons there, and then this is going to be some sort of cloud-like, foggy, whatever it is, night sky business. So that's the plan. I've already done a little bit of work, as you can see. I've chalked it onto some stiffened felt. I'm not sure you can quite see that, but there are some lines there. And I've already glued down the cabochons because the glue takes a while to dry and I don't want to have a stream where we're just watching glue dry. So that's already there. And underneath the big one is a small LED. Well, I'll show you what it is. It's sold as LED sequins by Adafruit. They're intended to be used with like their microcontrollers, but they are these tiny little LEDs where the positive and negative are these little pads with holes in them, so you can stitch them down using this metallic thread, or like not even metallic, just straight up like metal, so it's conductive. So I've stitched one of them to the front, and I've left the threads quite long on the back, so I can connect them to the other parts. I'm not gonna do that right now, because I think I want to use the, well, let's start a sentence and finish it. I've got this clasp pin thing that's going to be the closure, and I want to also use it as the on-off switch. So I'm going to cut it in half down the back and spread it out a little bit so it will only conduct electricity when you close it. So that needs to go on the back. And then also the battery holder needs to go on the back, which is quite chunky. And just 1 resistor also, to make it so the battery doesn't drain too fast. So I figured that if I put that on the back right away, it would just get in the way of the embroidery. So instead I'm just leaving these conductive threads quite long, and I'm going to connect them up at the end. So, but just as a demo for what it's going to be like, I guess. Let's see. So we've got, I think the plus is on this side. We've got a battery. There's also a resistor here somewhere. I'm gonna just wrap this thread around one of the resistor legs to hopefully make some contact. Oops. And then we go from the resistor to the negative on the battery, which is this one, I think. And then from the clasp to the positive. And there we go. I don't think you can see that on camera. I can see it here. Let me make it a little bit darker so you can see it. So we've got this going on. I think you can see that it go on and off. So that's the plan. But that is for a later time after I've done all the embroidery. So I'm gonna just put it aside for now. That will come out. So for now, I'm gonna open the curtain again so I can see what I'm doing. Right now, I've got a ton of beads, and I've got all these embroidery threads, yarns, whatever you want to call them, in blues and grays that I think will be quite a good moon/night sky. And I've got a zillion beads. I've got these sort of grayish ones with some silver on the inside. I've got these teeny tiny bluish gray ones. I emptied out my entire bead drawer. I've got this mix of various white, black, and gray. I've got pearls just in case. I've got fake pearls just in case. I've got some irregular shaped, this is quartz. I've got, this is some other, I think it's onyx and hematite beads. This all just came from crap from my bead drawer. So I'm gonna make something nice with it. I think these sort of pearlescent and silver beads will also be quite useful. And I found in a little baggie some beads that have been already on a necklace and worn and taken off again and reused again and again. But there are these teeny tiny stars. I've got 2 of those. Chat is super slow today. No worries. I'm gonna just talk and embroider the crap out of this thing. So I've got two teensy stars that I'm gonna put on there in the sky. I know that on the actual moon you can see stars in the dark part. I know that's not how the actual moon works, but it's a themed brooch, so I think I can do whatever the hell I want. So I'm thinking I will do the edge of the moon in these kind of brighter grayish beads, and then I will do the edge of the entire thing in black beads, and I will do an edge around the cabochons in the teensy dark beads. That's the plan for now. I'm gonna just get started on that. I've watched a million, well, not quite a million, many beading videos on YouTube over the past 2 weeks. So hopefully I kind of know what I'm doing. But I am opening the needle pack like right now, so here we go. First time doing this kind of crap. There are some instructions for how to open this, but I can't figure it out. I'm just, even, this has got 4 sizes of teensy needles in it, and I think even the biggest one is fine. Oh, thank you, Cheerful Something Something. I drew it up last night, and I think it turned out quite good. So, now I need, oh yeah, it appears that the beading market is really enthusiastic about using very thin fishing line to do their beadwork, because you can get your needle and your thread through your teeny tiny beads and still have a strong result. So I ordered some of that as well. And this does look pretty amazing. I had some clear nylon fishing line-esque thread before, but it was way thicker than this. let's see if you can make a knot in this. That's one thing I didn't check, is how you even start. I think I'm going to try just making a knot and see how it goes. Probably a neater way to do it, but eh. Like, this is an experimental piece, so I can do whatever I want, right? No! I wanted the knots to go on top of each other, but now they're just next to each other. Come on now. Yeah, I also never considered using fishing line for beading, but I watched those tutorials and every single one of them came up with a roll of this. So I just looked it up and I was like, oh, that seems neat. So, I'm gonna start from the back. I think that makes sense. I'm gonna start on one of the corners of the moon. And then what they do, I'm just telling you what I saw in the videos last week. You take 2 of the beads, you stick your needle back through at about the distance that those beads are going to use. Whoop. And then you poke the needle back through halfway between the 2 beads, basically. Halfway. And then you make it go through the second bead again. And that basically holds them down, like, tightly, both of them. Seems good. I'm gonna just keep doing that. Now, these beads that came from the drawer are not the best quality beads. What I also learned through watching a bunch of tutorials is that apparently Miyuki brand is the thing. And I got just cheapo beads from whenever. But hey, good enough for a first project. The only extra beads that I bought for this are the these ones. They look really fancy and nice, and basically what apparently is the thing with quality for beads is how evenly sized they are, like whether it's the same all the time. Okay, wait. I'm getting my my conductive thread stuck on the back. Hold up. It needs to come out. Yeah, I learned about bead snobbery in the past 2 weeks. I'm getting everything stuck on the back. I should probably, I don't know, pin this out of the way or something. This is not great. Let's see. Just sort of twist this up and like, you're staying here for now, friend. Hopefully that'll keep it out of the way. It's going reasonably well. It's not perfectly straight, it's a bit wobbly, but the beads also just move a little bit. I think once I've embroidered right next to it, it might be better. Or it's just my life now. Uneven beads. Oops. I just realized that when I hold it up to my face, you can't actually see what I'm doing. There we go. Fish line is really springy. It's like all over the place. I see the people in the videos put their beads on some sort of mat that makes it super easy to pick them up with the needle. But it's a bit of a struggle. Wait, is this just a bigger bead, or what is up with this dude? He looks bad. Some of the silver coating is on the outside of it. This is what I said about not great quality beads. I want to see if I can get that out if I remove it from the needle. Because this one is not good. Bye. So let's try that again. All right, back in business. Come on, stay on the needle. In today's edition of Yelling at Inanimate Objects, beads. I think this line of beads is gonna go really close to the cabochons, so I don't think I can do a full edge around them with the teeny tiny beads. So I think I'm just gonna sort of fill in whatever border I can without going places I can't. I guess I should have made either the cabochons a little bit smaller or the moon a little bit bigger. And I could have fit 2 rows of beads. But hey, you live and you learn. You also talk to your projects? Oh yeah. I think that's a almost universal thing. It's what I tell people about why I went into IT. Because you can just yell at the computer and it won't feel bad. Something here feels... Oh, wait. Still getting stuck. So what is the most recent project that you talked to? Or that needed a good talking to? These two beads seem kind of wiggly. I don't want them to be wiggly. You've been arguing with Ruffles? Oh yeah. Once you pull it into a gather, it's just gone. You just cannot reason with it anymore. This is coming along pretty nicely. This kind of looks like I know what I'm doing, right? I think my chalk line is kind of fading fast, though. Might have to use me. I think this bead might be having a slight imperfection, making it not want to go over the needle. Oh yeah, there's something like stuck inside. Bye. It's gonna throw it on the floor and trip over it for a week. Moon. Woo. The needle is really thin and it's so easy to lose. Like, to just not grab it. I think it's a little bit wonky where it goes around the cabochon. I think I should have basically put all the beads a little bit closer to the outside of the line. But could be worse. I'm gonna just redo some of my markings because I can see where I'm going. Oh yes, yes. Organic and bohemian. Or hipster chic or something. Did I say hipster chic or hippie chic? I intended to say hippie, but I think I said hipster. Well, it's also hipster. It's a little bit wonky and handmade-ish. Yeah, words. They're hard. I'm getting kind of stuck in my fishing line as well. Interesting stuff. You could say I'm hooked. Well, this is where all the bad fishing puns start. I'm finding it easier than I thought to poke the needle back in from the back and get it where I needed to. I thought I was gonna have to poke a million times to find the right spot, but the number of times I've just been like, and it works, it's been pretty great. It's not so bad. If the bead will stay on the needle, please. Yes, now. I think at some point your hand just sort of knows where to go on the bottom. I don't know. So now I've reached the point where I have to go back around the side. Ah, yes, I'm getting along swimmingly. Woohoo! Nice, 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 nice. Good to know I'm not the only one. I think I'm just gonna turn right around, or am I gonna do some like single bead to cap it off, or what am I think I'm just gonna go straight back. Glad I caught it. Oh, whew. You are on a reel. Alright, I'm a little bit worried about, honestly, it goes quite close to the edge of the felt, and I'm kind of afraid it's gonna pull out if that I'm just gonna pull through the fibers or something. Maybe I should test that. I don't know, it's a bit late now. I mean, I've already started. Oh yeah, you can definitely pull through. Okay, I would just be really careful. I also need to steer clear of the edge a little bit because I need to like cut it out at some point, because right now it is not a circle, as you may have observed. But the way that the people in the video do this, they make it, and then they cut around the edge, and then they back it with some like fake leather to make the edge neat, or to make the back neat and tidy, and then stitch a row of beads around the edge. It looks real nice. I'm going to try doing that too. It's gonna be a brooch. So it's gonna have a pin on the back. That I also need to glue on and finish it. Basically, it's gonna have, it's also got, wait. I can't talk and do this at the same time. Oh yeah, I think you can also do that. I've also seen people sort of embroider around the edge in a kind of buttonhole stitch. But I want to try the thing with the beads, where it's basically doing the same thing except there's also a bead in it. You sort of go through the edge, up through a bead. Well, it makes sense in my head, but I can't explain it. Oh, the frame? Maybe. Maybe I could have done more to, like, secure the edge. I've also... This piece of felt has been previously used for other purposes. And there was a little edge of iron-on interfacing here on the back, which might have been nice for the whole thing, actually. Like, that would have been smart, probably, if I just interfaced the entire back. Wait, did I do the extra stitchy? Did I do the thing? Oh, yeah, I did. It's starting to get kind of dark now. I'm gonna switch on some extra lights so I can still see what I'm doing. I'm gonna try to steer clear of the edge and just put the beads just slightly to the inside of the chalk line. And hopefully that'll be enough. And of course, I was actively trying to rip through it when I tested it previously. If I'm just a little bit gentle, I'm sure it will be better when I'm doing the real deal. Another one stuck. These things, seriously. Or maybe I should switch to a thinner needle. I can. I have one. So, this is the offending bead. Doesn't look that much different from the ones that actually work. I'm gonna try an even thinner needle. Because I can. Let's see. I think the next size up is this one. Ow! Jeez. Like, I only stabbed myself on the eye side of it things, but it's still really damn pointy because they're so thin. Come out, come out. All right. Super duper thin needle, let's go. Ooh, now the fishing line is even feeling a bit, like it's getting a bit of traction in the needle. Interesting. All right, so this was the bead that didn't want to go. Let's try it again. It works! So magical. Oops. Please don't get stuck. It's going quite well, but it's also taking forever. I'm what, half an hour in or something? And I've done just about half of the beads on the moon. Starting to develop the feeling that I might not be able to finish this on today's stream. But hey, maybe the embroidery will be super fast. Who knows? Yeah, I'll get a decent chunk of it done. I also think I'm gonna, well, no, I can't do the circuit until everything is embroidered, I think. Or maybe I can solder some stuff together for the little LED. I basically need to solder, like I need to cut apart the clasp or the pin or whatever, and solder it to a resistor and a battery socket holder thing. So that also still needs doing. This needle is so thin, I was kind of worried about poking it through the felt, but it's actually so ridiculously sharp that it's no big deal whatsoever. I love it. More beads. Oh, I also made, so these little thingies are glow in the dark. Like I put some glow-in-the-dark pigment into the polymer clay that I made them out of. I also have little glow-in-the-dark stars. But I had another look and it's just a smidge too big for the design. I'm going to show you in a sec. As soon as this bead is secure. So I got this little dude and I was planning to put him in the sky like here, but it's just a bit too big compared to the moon. So I've decided to ditch this, and instead I'm going to do the teeny tiny star beads. Which I think will end up looking better, because I can even fit 2 of them in there. And it won't have to compete for glowy real estate with the moon. I think I have to move the threads on the back so I don't stitch them under the beads. There we go. Here's another off-shape bead. Only the best ones get to be on my moon. Okay. I have to say that I was planning to do quite a bit of work on the waistcoat from last week, like during the past week, but I didn't. I just tacked a little bit of the lining and didn't do anything else. It's because I started playing Minecraft again. So, you know, I've made a bunch of things. Just not physical things. Yeah, it's coming along. It's both better and worse than I thought. Like, I should probably count how many beads this is, and then it will feel like a greater accomplishment than saying I made a tiny circle. But yeah, Minecraft has been hampering my productivity a bit last week in the best possible way. So I guess that means I can... Next week I'll just continue on the waistcoat because otherwise I'm never gonna get it done. Because apparently I don't do things when I'm not streaming. Which is honestly how I started. I figured that if you tell people that you're gonna be online doing a thing, that you have to actually show up and do it. So it's a productivity hack that I can really recommend. Yeah, exactly. I've been doing other creative stuff. It's just that I have to be careful about running off in all directions for different projects because you just end up with a whole pile of unfinished stuff. Oh yeah, until all of you are streaming. That's okay. As long as you're fine streaming for an audience of one, you're good. The one thing that matters is that you stream, because that is what makes you sit down and do the beading. And whether you actually have any viewers is of vastly secondary importance. Maybe just stream for your goldfish or something. Just sit in front of the bowl and talk to him like he cares about what you're doing. It's a little bit wobblier than I would have liked, but at the same time, it looks sparkly, which is good. I guess maybe the beads I picked are also not the most forgiving in terms of looking even, because they are so shiny. You get distracted talking to people? Alright, I'll see you next time. Thanks for showing up. It was good that you're there. And yeah, honestly, watching other people stream is also usually pretty alright for my productivity, because you just sort of sit down, hang out, and do all the hand stitching. Sometimes you need to do a boring job, and the best thing is to just either Netflix or watch someone stream. Okay, I take back whatever I said about it really being easy to poke it in the right place. Took a bit. So Yukimiko, what are you making in the kitchen? It's easier with a thimble? Actually, for this needle, or for this felt, I guess, it takes almost no pressure to get it through. So I haven't felt the need for a thimble, even though I'll use a thimble for most other jobs. I've actually found it quite easy to maneuver this. There's just so little resistance when it goes through the fabric. I'm doing something wrong, I think. Why is this going around the back? Oh wait, I poked this through from the back when I should have poked it from the front. I am so smart. Let's try that again. It's even kind of difficult to see whether the needle's threaded or not because it's so thin. Fortunately, the fishing line is really easy to poke through the eye. These people know what they're doing, the people who do the fishing line thing. Nearly there. And then I can do yet more beads, even smaller ones, around the little cabochons. Maybe like a soft mouse pad would be good for picking up the beads. Because I'm occasionally picking up a little bit of the fibers from the felt. That's kind of annoying. You're cooking up a bunch of marmalades. Ooh! That sounds delicious. Bread and marmalade. I was not in a cooking mood today, so I have burritos. Well, sort of vaguely Mexican-y goop in a wrap is what it's going to be. So I just have to open a can of beans, a can of corn, and a can of chopped tomatoes. Throw it all together with a packet of spices and I'm done. No biggie. I was feeling uninspired. I'm not sure if it's delicious and refreshing. It's all like throwing cans together. But you know, I don't have to chop anything. I just... If you call it a chili, then it's a proper dish, right? That's what it is. I'm making a chili. that works kind of the same as making a salad. You just throw some stuff in a bowl and it counts. Okay, I think I'm gonna put one more bead in there instead of two, and I think that will finish that off nicely. Yeah. Oops, I almost... Am I making knots in this? What is happening? That's it for the silver beads. And honestly, it's a little bit wobbly here and there, but it's kind of better than I expected. So I'm gonna put these beads away. And then I'm kind of worried about these ones because they're a size smaller than these, if I understand correctly. This is not marked with anything, but I have learned from the bead nerds on the internet that there's size 11 and size 15. Did I put the pin in the back? Ah, yeah, exactly. I've got the wire that it keeps getting caught under the thread that I was doing the beads with. So I just sort of pinned it out of the way so it wouldn't get caught. And I think it's worked. It's still loose. So now I need to do stitches, whoops, here and here. So I think I will leave it there. It'll be nicely tucked away. Because it was getting stuck. Yeah, so the bead nerds are teaching me that there are size 11 and size 15 seed beads are very common. I believe these are size 15. Or wait, no. I think it's 15, it goes up, is smaller or something. Wait, this actually said what size it was. But this is 11, then I guess this is 15. Maybe it refers to tenths of millimeters. Like this is 1.5 millimeters. That would make sense. Seems about right. So these are teeny tiny. And I don't know how to open this, because the lid seems to be stickered shut. I don't want to destroy the label, because it's got like info on it in case I need to buy the same one again. I'm gonna see if... Where's my... Oh no! Where's my X-Acto knife? Or any other hobby knife. There we go. I can sort of feel the edge of the lid through the sticker, so I'm just... see if I can cut it loose. I don't think that did anything. This is doing something. All right, come off now. Let's see. I've got this mix pack of John James needles. It's size 10 to 13. If I recall correctly, higher numbers are smaller. Is that right? So I started out with the biggest one that was in the pack, and now I'm on the middle one. I think. So wait, if this is size 10 to 13, that would mean there's 4 sizes, but there's, I think it was 2 of the same and then 2 different ones. So I think it's size 11 or 12 that I'm currently on. It's pretty good. So now if this jar will please open. I didn't know that this was going to be the most difficult part. I guess I am going to tear up the whole thing. I'll just put a little... I'm not sure. I thought that... Oh yeah, size 9 would then be... I need to look up that whole, like, John James Needles chart. But somewhere between 10 and 13. Oh wait, these bigger embroidery needles are 18 to 24, so higher numbers is bigger. So, is that right? So that would mean it's bigger than a size 9? I don't know. I don't know how any of this stuff works anymore. I'm gonna just put a little label on it with the number of the collar, maybe, so I don't lose that info. Stick a little label on it and then rip the original sticker to shreds. Because this is not working for me. I need a Sharpie. Do I have a Sharpie? I don't have a Sharpie. Where's my Sharpie? Alright. 612. There we go. Now, let's go. In today's episode of Making Things, how to open a plastic bottle of beads. I feel like this should be able to come off. Is it? Oh, is it a screw top? Just slightly? Ooh, it's a screw top. Haha. Okay. These are absolutely tiny. Check that out. So I'm gonna try not to spill this all over my stuff. So let's put the cap back on. Okay, and then let's see if this needle will go through them or whether I have to go down to one even smaller. Because I got one that is tinier than this. And with these beads, I'm just going to do edges around the cabochons. I think that would be neat. Or should I do that with a lighter bead, actually? Because it is... The moon is supposedly the brighter part. It's a bit grayish, but not that dark. I don't know. I feel like it would make them kind of pop, though. What alternatives do I have? I've got some grays in here. It's kind of annoying that this is a mixed box, so I can't tell in one. So there's a grayish thing here, but that's actually much the same color as these ones, but that doesn't help. I think that's all the grays that are in there, actually. And there's some bright silver ones, but very few. So there are some nice sort of, whoops, translucent, clear, sort of frosted is the word I was looking for. Frosted look beads that are quite nice in here. I don't know. And I've also got these I think this has a name, the long beads, but I can't find it in my brain right now. These are quite a bright silver. And I think they're too similar to the ones I've already got on there. It'd be too busy. What else have I got? This is a mix of sort of shimmery beads that sort of mother of pearl-ish look to them. There's no gray ones in there. So the white mother of pearl ones are kind of nice. But maybe I'd like to, I don't know. I'm just gonna go for the dark beads for now. Just to make, I guess, make these circles look vaguely like craters. I don't know. It can't turn out that bad, right? So... come up right next to it. And let's see whether this works. I have to say that the openings in these beads actually look not that bad. 1 is the biggest and 12 the smallest. And then from 13 to 28 is the same? What? Oh, you mean the same, like, 1 is, like, bigger number is smaller needles? These are the ones from John James that are sold as beading needles. I also had a look at, they have a whole, like, PDF with the size guides with also the actual, like, physical size of these things. I think it's like 0.4 millimeters or something. They do exist on the list somewhere. I've seen them, but whatever. It doesn't matter. It's very, very thin, is sort of the point. Very tiny. It's quite nice. Yeah. And today I'm just embroidering with the beads, but there's also this whole like beading, bead weaving hobby where you just make an entire 3D thing out of beads just by sort of layering them. That also seems pretty neat. I'll do that sometime. Like I made an attempt at something like that years ago. I actually found it when I went looking for beads for this. It's lying around here somewhere. Let's see where I've got it. I made this ring out of beads. I'm not sure where it even fits, but it's a finished thing. It's just not particularly aesthetically pleasing. I think I made this with the same beads that are now on the moon, and that nylon, not quite fishing line. It's very sort of stiff and weird. But there was an attempt. That counts for something. Treat animals from seed beads? Ooh, that sounds interesting. I had one of those bead looms where you could weave flat things, but I totally forgot how it worked. But doing 3D animals actually seems way more interesting. Going pretty quickly. I feel like I'm getting the hang of it. Here it was a crocodile. Oh yeah, if you can still find them, that would be awesome. When I was a kid, I was really into origami. And my favorite was a frog that could actually jump. Like you would push on his butt. He could jump across the table a little bit. That one was also pretty awesome. I'm not sure I'm liking the effect of the beads around the cabochon, actually. Starting to look a bit like a sun almost. Like a tiny sun. Sure if you can see that, but I don't know if I like that. It seems or too floral. I'm not quite sure. What do you think? I'm not sure I'm digging this. It seems a bit try-hard or something. I don't know. Maybe it's better once the rest is filled in with embroidery, but I don't know. I'm not convinced with the beads around the glowy thing. So opinions, if you have them, please. I don't think I'm going to take it all out. I'm going to finish at least this one, but maybe when I do all of them, it'll look more consistent and therefore better, but I don't know. Theater groups made giant origami dragon. Ooh. Since no one knew how to draw one, that's a nice solution. We don't know how to draw a dragon, but we know how to fold one. I've still not stitched through the threads on the back, so still doing good there. I think I'm gonna just squeeze one more bead in here because I think I can. I think that's also about the end of my thread, so I'll just finish this off on the back. What will this go on? It's going to be a brooch, so... and I've got several colors for the embroidery. I've got 2 shades of gray, a lighter and a darker one, or a more bluish and a more brownish one that I plan to use for the moon. I've also got some white if I need to, and I've got these more bluish colors for the sky. I think that the beads are a fairly close match with this thread, so do something like that. If the light is on, they might be outshone. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Now that I've finished the whole circle, I kind of like it a bit more than I did before. So I think I'm just going to do the other one as well. And also do a tiny, like, just the upper edge and the lower edge of the big, whoops. So the upper edge and the lower edge of the big one, because I can't go all the way around because there's already some beads there. Or maybe not do those edges. I don't know. Maybe for consistency. I don't know. First, I'm just going to finish the back on this one because I'm almost out of fishing line. I guess I'm just going to do a couple of stitches in place. It seems like it would make sense. Try to do that little knot thing. All right, that should do it. My scissors are not a good match for this thread. Come on now. All right. All right, I'm going to take a new piece and do the edges of at least this and maybe that. It's going a bit slower than I expected, though. An hour and 20 minutes for this. Ridiculous. I think that's a good knot. If I put it around the bigger one, it'll make it a focal point. Yeah, that's... the bigger one is kind of already going to be the focal point because it's the one that lights up. So there's not much I can do to make it not the focal point. I feel like, I don't know. I'm one of those people who can't stand asymmetry. So if I do the beads on one of the cabochons, I should do it on all of them. I don't know. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put... first I'm going to do the small one. Then I'm going to put a bunch of beads just on a thread and just lay it down on the fabric to see what it looks like. That will do it. Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, there's a tiny LED underneath the big one. So that's gonna be lighting up a little bit extra. They're all glow in the dark, so hopefully that'll sort of tie it together. But the small ones were just too small to put more LEDs under. Well, maybe strictly speaking I could have fit it in, but it would not have fit comfortably by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just gonna try what it looks like by just holding up a string of beads to it. My needle's sort of getting stuck in fibers on the felt. Kind of annoying. Come on, go through. What would happen if you put the border around the center stone? Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been thinking. Oh, the border beads. Oh, you mean like the shinier ones. That's also an option. Oh, thank you, Canuck. Oops. I think that got a bit twisted up. What's going on here? Oh no, I think we're good. I don't know, are we? Seems a bit weird. Can I pull it tight and it'll just work? Something has gone wrong in tightening these beads. I feel like it's twisted somehow. What is going on? I think it's better now. Still not convinced that. I'll just take it out because I am not convinced that this is correct. Oops. Let's take these two out because I don't trust them anymore. For one thing, I should be seeing the thread coming up from the back of the fabric and going only into the last bead, which is not at all what I'm seeing right now. I think maybe it caught itself over the top of the other one or something. Oh, that's it. Hold on. I think I untangled it. There, that looks normal. Everything's fine, except where did my needle just go? Because this is the thicker one. Where is this thin one? Where... where did I put it? Where did it just go? Did I drop it? Mayday, mayday. Where's the needle? Oh no, wait, this is actually not the thicker one. This is the one I was already using. I'm just an idiot. It checks out because there's 3 in the pack and 1 in my hand. Hi Shania, welcome to the stream. I'm slowly beating my way through this brooch. I keep, like, the English language does not make sense for a pronunciation. Alright. Whoops, that's a bit of sticker that I didn't need. It's kind of a snug fit here between the cabochon and the edge beads to get these in, but I think they're small enough to fit. But only just. This is not right. What are we doing? Just realized that a dark color would look good on burgundy. Oh, yes. It probably would. Like, I'm usually a monochromatic kind of person, except I like red and purple. So if you just make a sort of gray and black and silver thing, it can go on just about everything. So that's my clothing hack, is only use 1 real color, or maybe 2, and then everything goes together. I'm just launching beads across the table at this point. What is going on? Fashion hacks with an ink. Only wear 1 color. I'm not usually a brooch kind of person. I don't really do objects that are for decorative purposes only. I would much rather just wear an item of clothing that's beautiful rather than wear something kind of meh and then spruce it up with accessories. Sort of less is more kind of philosophy, but I needed to make something with all of my bead nonsense, so here I am, making a brooch. I mean, it's also a very lazy system, but it works. If it works, it ain't stupid. I think I'll just manage to squeeze 1 more bead in here. Get it nice and lined up with the first one. I've somehow created a little bit of a gap here. It was not entirely intentional, but whatever. It's the first one, right? Let's smush you in there. then I'm gonna go through this one and through the first one. Get them both sort of lined up. You can wear glam up and a bridge. Yeah, that's true. You can glam up. That's true. I went like, oh, but why not make your item of clothing the decorative thing? What if it already is and you just need more decorative? That is true. It's a little bit smushed together here. It doesn't look great, but I think, you know, if people ever get close enough to my brooch to see that the beads are not perfectly lined up, they're probably too close. So, I'll take it. Good enough for me. So I'm gonna just put a bunch of these on a piece of thread and just lay it down next to the moon to see whether I want to stitch that down or not. Or whether maybe I want to do the other beads, or nothing at all. And I can get embroidering maybe. Oh no, first I need to put the tiny stars on, but after that it's definitely embroidery time. Alright, so I've got this. And I put it here. Oh, actually I quite like that. Whoop. See if I can get that up to the camera. I think that's pretty reasonable, actually. Am I a lacy kind of person? Aha! I'm not a lacy kind of, well, I don't know. It depends on the occasion. So I think that actually I quite like the look of these gray beads along the main glow thing. I think I'm gonna do it. Even if it's just, otherwise I have to somehow cover that edge with embroidery stitches, and that's not quite as 3D as you would need to deal with that edge, I think. Or let's also try it with the first beads. Also put a bunch of these on the needle. And just try it. Said something wrong? I'm not sure what you... I thought by lacy you just meant enjoys wearing lace. But I'm not sure. What did you mean? What did you think I meant? Communicate... Like, English is not my first language either. Or... I'm not sure if yours is, but you're making it sound like it's not. Alright. Let's also give these a go. Try these on for size. Oh, that's actually also really nice. I think I like this more. I'm gonna just see if I can get that up a little bit. My first language is Dutch. And my English is reasonably good, but sometimes I just miss out on obscure meanings of words or something. So, Yukimiko, I think you nailed it when you said do the edge beads along the big one, because I think this looks way better. So I'm gonna do that. Let's take these off. Let's try not to mix them together too much. Now all the tiny gray ones come off. Let's put those back where they came from. There's gotta be, well, if I hadn't already put new beads on this piece of felt, I guess I could have sort of rolled it up and made them all go back in there a bit easier. But hey, I was not that smart. Okay, got them all back in. Make sure they don't go anywhere. Alright, so gonna do the edge of the big cabochon, for which I'm necessarily gonna have to cross some of the conductive threads from the LED, just because I have to go along the top edge and the bottom edge. I'm gonna try not to trap them too much. So if I focus on the top bit first, I'm gonna move this over there for a bit. Then I think I've got a clear path. Sure. Okay. So I'm gonna start here in the corner. Yes. Whoops. And this shouldn't take that long because it's not that many beads to get to the other side, I think. These are, of course, famous last words. This should not be too difficult. I feel like I'm getting sort of good at this. I mean, not good, but it's going a bit more naturally than it was in the beginning. When did I start? I started at 3 o'clock. So I'm about an hour and 40 minutes in from when I first put my needle into this piece of felt. I think I can fit one more bead in here, just in the corner, so it nice and snug against the rest. This is quite nice. I think it really ties together the shape of the moon with the circle. I'm just gonna put a tiny one of the, a tiny gray one in the little corner that's left here, just to fill it up and give it slightly sort of not the black background filling. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, hop out on the other side. Yeah, I'm gonna, so these tiny corners where I can't fit another one of the silvery beads, I'm just gonna put the tiny gray ones to tie it together. I think it looks nice. For the first time, it's quite fast. Ah, that's true. I did watch a million tutorials before starting, so I had a bit of a hunch of what I was doing. So, kind of hoped it would be a bit faster. But it is turning out nicely, which is, I think, the more important bit. Is this gonna be worth it? So I've got a tiny, now I don't like this so much. This little bead is pushing this one out of where it should be. Now I'm not so sure about my plans. Can I loosen it up a little bit? This is better. Alright, I'm back to the silver beads. I'm hoping I actually... Why is this so not going? Was I stuck on something, or... That was really heavy to pull through. It's alright now. No clue what happened. I was hoping to get around to the embroidery a bit sooner. So I guess technically you could call this bead embroidery or whatever. I've also seen people make brooches and things with doing beaded edges and then filling it in with sequins. It's crazy. So much work. So I think I can put 2 or 3 more of the silver beads here. Whoops. I'm just launching them across the table now. Come back. And then I think I'll be... Well, then I need to put the 2 tiny stars on and then I'm done with the beads. That's it. Oh yeah, I feel totally the same. Shania, I like... When I need to do some hand stitching or something, I always just watch a stream. Or I also have a couple of friends with who I do like sewing hangouts. We just all hop on a Discord chat and chat about whatever while doing some work. It's so much easier when you've got some company. Now I'm gonna see if I can squeeze another one of the little gray beads here in the corner where I first started. Oh, of course I forgot to move my my threads on the back, so I just stitched all over them. Yeah. Let's see if I can still get those out. Uh-oh. Okay, first let's finish this. Single stitch. A bit more loose so it doesn't push the other ones out of the way. Looks really good. Thank you. I'm just gonna give this bead an extra stitch to pull it in so it doesn't get pushed out of the line too much. There. I think that's it. I'm losing most of my chalk lines, so let's put those back on before they're entirely gone. This is the midline. And then we get the cloud stuff like here. Something like that. Now let's put in the tiny star beads because those are the last ones I need. Just put them somewhere in the sky. Secure this a little bit more. All right. Let's see. I'll put one here-ish. These are actually a little bit worn. Like, I think the plastic that they're made of is starting to show through, but it is vaguely blue-greenish, so it does not even that far off the color that the sky is going to be, so just don't pay too much attention and everything looks great. Alright, that's one star. The other one goes a bit further up here. Oh, I think now my tail is no longer coming with me. I'm just stitching with double thread at this point. Hold on. When did that start happening? And some kind of knot here. Oh, that must be why it was so not going smoothly a while back. I don't know. One of these threads is the tail end that doesn't want to come out. Or I just ignore it and I just tie a knot and cut both. Since this is the last beads anyway. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Got it tangled up, but it doesn't matter. Just gonna cut it loose. Okay, so much for the beads. Now let's see if I can free my conductive LED wire threads from the back, because I did catch them under some stitches here. Oh, this is coming out way better than I thought. Okay, these are free once again. Now, embroidery time. I think I'm first gonna do a white stitch around the edge to sort of mirror but not quite shine as much as the silver beads I've got around the edge. And then I'm gonna fill in the rest. That sounds kind of reasonable. So let's see. Is there anyone in the chat who has experience with embroidery and knows how I can take bits of thread from here without removing all of these bands? Because I kind of want to keep it on to keep it together. Oh, I can just sort of... Never mind, you can just gently pull it out. Alright, this seems like a reasonable length. I think I'm going to do the full thickness for this, because it's going to be the edge and needs to be quite bold. Right? And it's still thinner than the beads. So I think that makes sense. So where's my... Let's see. I will take a medium-sized one. This is where I realize I should have probably gotten some needle threaders. Yeah. Fortunately, you can do a trick with a regular piece of thread, or even with a bit of fishing line. Ah, thanks! Oh, sorry, I missed your comment about the LED wire thread. Yeah, there's a tiny little LED light underneath the big cabochon, and so these conductive bits of thread are hooked up to the plus and minus of it, and some stuff needs to happen with like a battery holder, and the clasp is going to be the on-off switch. That needs to happen on the back at some point, but that's after I finish the embroidery. So I'm just gonna double over a piece of the fishing line and use that as a needle threader. Boop. Perfect. Yeah, I've got 6 threads. At least, I think it's 6. Yeah, it's 6. I'm gonna do the full 6 for the outside. I think I'm gonna do the full 6 for just about everything because I need to fill it in. Need some bulk, maybe? Unless you have embroidery experience and you want to tell me now that I'm making a grave mistake, I would like to hear it, if that's the case. I just sort of held it up here and thought, nah, that looks about right. I'm gonna backstitch this, I think. Let's keep this out of the way. Am I doing it right? No, I need to start a little bit further. Oh, I can, wow. This is, either this corner is way stiffer than the rest of the felt, or this thick needle is having a really hard time going through. This is so much harder than the beading needle. Jeez. All right. You can get bulky depending on what stitch you want to do. Yes, that was my intention. Make a nice border. So I think I'll get there. Do you think that if I'm gonna satin stitch to like fill in the sky, that it's also 6 is a good number? Should I go less? Well, I'm trying to do this in like... trying to go out and straight back in again so I only have to pull it once, but if I keep getting tangled up in my own embroidery threads, maybe that's not super smart. I'll just do it in 2. It feels better. And then maybe even out for the next one. Yeah, this is way better. I can do embroidery me. Well, I'm saying that, but clearly I don't know what I'm doing. Because that should have not gone from the back, that should have gone from the front. Do. Let's pull that out. And do it again. Back it up and do it again. Also, maybe switch to a slightly thinner needle, because this is quite bulky. While I'm at it. Come on. Go through the damn needle, you. Ugh. If I like fray it out a little bit, make it more flat. Well, maybe this needle is too thin for 6 threads. Back to the old needle. Not that one. There we go. I feel like this stitch is also not as neat as it should have been. This is not as neat and tidy as I wanted it to be, but acceptable. I think I should stitch into the previous stitch a bit more so you don't get gaps between the stitches. Try that for the second half. Almost make it like a split stitch. For satin stitch I used 2 threads. Did you want to add shading? If you're using only one color, you need to 3 or 4. Okay. Okay, I think maybe what you're describing is a bit advanced for my skill level, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna just... Like, I was planning to satin stitch... I was planning to do sort of color blocks, but with maybe a thin edge of a couple of... like, sort of blended in-ish? I wasn't entirely sure yet, so we'll see how it goes. I also think that if I use less than 6 threads, it'll pull through the fabric a bit more easily than this, because it's quite chunky. This is looking not great. I'm kind of not terribly pleased with it. I don't know. I feel like it's looking kind of wonky. But hey, it's a first project. It's okay. it looks nice-ish. But I don't know. I feel like I want to do better already. But at the same time, I don't feel like taking it out. So there's a dilemma. Because I don't want to rip it all out again. We'll just go, we'll just call it hippie chic again. And then all of this is fine. It's arts and crafts, you know. Alright, so that's the outside edge. So, I don't know. How do I even finish this on the back? Oh, I'm going to stitch it through the fishing line a couple times. That should hold it in place pretty neatly. If I can tie a knot without pulling the beads all out of where they're supposed to. Yeah, good enough, good enough. It's trying not to be annoying to myself, because then I won't finish it. Alright, I think that'll stay. Like, I'm also gonna cover the back in some either additional felt or some whatever fabric I might find. And that should sort of hold everything on the back in place, so. Okay, now let's try either, I don't know. I don't feel like filling in the moon quite yet. I'm gonna try to do that sort of wispy cloud thing. And I've looked at tons of pictures. Oh yeah, I have seen Kathy Hayes talk about being a beginner. I am enjoying being a beginner right now. But at the same time, I feel like if you are deliberate about improving, then you improve much faster. So I'm not going to take it out, but I am going to try to be better on the next. So I've looked at tons of pictures of night sky clouds, and it appears that you get sort of light around the edges. So since here's going to be the top edge of the top cloud, I've only got these 4 colors basically to work with, right? Oh, there's also a black, but I feel like that's just going to be whatever's behind the stars. It's going to be black. So then from lightest to darkest, I've got this bluish gray, this grayish gray, but I think I'm going to use that for the moon. This light blue and this deep blue. So I think I'm just gonna do solid bits of color where I don't know, or should I do a tiny white edge? Maybe I should do a tiny thin white edge along the top of this, just to also make it pop. It's also light where it touches the moon. I mean, oh yeah. I don't know. Let's have another look at the pictures. Let me just put the screen sharing mode on. And in theory, you should now see my browser, but I'm not seeing it on my screen. What is going on? I should have a window capture. Oh, now you've got my VLC screen. That's not good. Let's just open and close Chrome. That might fix it. No, not Discord. What are you doing, OBS? I'm an advocacy person? What do you mean? What does that mean? Yeah, now you're seeing my screen, but you're seeing the wrong screen. So let's see. There we go. Ta-da! It's a bit small. Let's fix that for a bit. There. Something like that. I should do it. Because I was looking at pictures of like night sky clouds. And what you see is, like, for instance, in this one, is that you get these sort of bright edges and these dark centers. So that's kind of what I'm looking at doing. Maybe I should also put a little bit of blue in the sky. Suddenly I wish I had like 6 more colors of embroidery thread. But I don't. And this sort of thing where you've got the white across the top and then it gets darker towards the bottom. That's the kind of... It can be quite bright around the edges. So I'm going to try to do something like that. Oh, person that's trying to improve? Yeah! I think that's a good thing to do. And that's also, like, if it's challenging, it's interesting. I'm also going to just have a look at what I've got for, like, regular sewing thread that I might be able to throw into the mix. I've got this blue, but it's a bit too blue. I've got more shades of gray, which actually might work for a... I'll just like double it up and do it around some edges. I think that's all the applicable colors I've got. And it's not even top stitch thread or anything, just regular sewing thread. But there are some more shades of gray that I can throw in there. I think I'm going to use this. I think this is the lightest I've got. I double this over. I think I'll use a white, a thin white for the top edge, and then do the next edge with this. So it's still lighter than everything else, but not as light. That settles it then. You can blend threads. Oh yeah, you can just take one of each or something, or 2 of each. I think I'm gonna do 2 threads of white for the first top layer. I feel like at this point it would also help if I had any experience doing like drawing or art or something. Because I don't know how color blending works. I don't know how light and shade works. I'm just looking at pictures and trying to do approximately that. I'm going to just start with a very thin white edge along the top cloud. Not in any way more important than the other clouds, of course, but one of them's got to be on top. And then maybe I'll do another row of stitches. Or maybe I should make longer stitches out of this. I don't know. I'll do another row of stitches with 1 white and 1 gray or something. And that'll create a sort of blending effect, perhaps, maybe? I don't know. Sounds logical. I feel like I want to make longer stitches here though, because this is looking kind of not great. I'm gonna take this out. I don't like it. Oh, and I was getting caught on my other threads. What's going on? Did I actually stitch my needle right through here? Ugh. Imagine where your light source comes from. Yeah, I just, that sounds logical. I just don't really know what to do with my materials to then make it look that way. I'm gonna try to do longer, maybe satin stitch-ish stitches to make it not so like a dotted line. I don't like the dotted line look. Come on, come out. All right, let's try this again. With longer stitches this time. Also, where is my chalk line? One long and one short. I think I want to make them slightly overlapping, sort of the way that the back stitch looks on the back, where they're kind of next to bumping into each other. That I think it's also, you know how when you do pencil sketches and you just sort of, instead of doing one long line, you just do chuk 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 chuk, and it looks more smooth altogether, even though it's not one smooth line. I think that's what I want to go for. So just, whoops. Okay, I really need to pin this out of the way because it's getting majorly stuck. Hold up. So you guys need to not be here right now. All right. So I'm going to try to just slightly overlap them, and that will... Oh, I think I'm almost doing a stem stitch. Kind of almost. And that's the nice and flowy cloud kind of thing that you would want here, I think. If you make it kind of irregular lengths. You set your sleeves perfectly the first time? Woohoo! That's so satisfying. I know how nerve-wracking that is, where you're like, please, please don't have a little, please don't have a little wrinkle, please don't have a little wrinkle, and then it comes out, and everything fits, and everything's smooth. That's the life. Those are the days. Congratulations. I think this is looking much nicer than what I did first. It's looking kind of smooth, but irregular, but natural, but vaguely like a cloud. So, much happier with this. There, I think that's quite reasonable. And now I think I'm gonna do what you suggested and just add in a gray thread in there. Well, first I need to finish this and then pop it out. By a knot or something. I think this might be long enough to make it back once. So I'm gonna try that. I'm going to start with the lightest gray I've got, which is this one. Yeah, this is the moon gray, and this is the sky gray, because this is vaguely bluish. And it needs to be about that long. And I think I'm going to do one row of stitches with this mix, and then I'm going to do just gray to fill in the rest of the block. If I don't get this all tangled up, that is. Come on, you were separating so nicely. Don't be like that. So is there a trick to separating it so that it doesn't give you crap and tangle up? Alright. Because I feel that just sort of splitting it like that makes it go into knots. I'm going to throw in one of this gray. Why not? I'm gonna be weird anyway. Whoop. I'm feeling lucky. Where did my fishing line go? Eh, come on. Come on! There we are. Let's tie a little knot. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing, just a tiny bit lower. And then from there it's just going to be gray stitches to fill in the rest of the block. So much effort. This better be cool when it's finished. Like, I never wear brooches, but after I finish this I might have to. I really like the idea of blending the threads. It looks really like you've embroidered way more tiny stitches than you actually have. It looks quite good. Bit here that I still need to fill in. It looks like you've done a million tiny stitches with a single thread. This is a really good life hack. I'm sure that it's an established technique, but whoops, lost my thread. But it feels like a life hack. I think I'm just gonna go, whoops. I'm just gonna go use up the thread that I've got right now. I'm just gonna stitch to the end and then turn back and see how far I get with it before it runs out. And then continue with gray from there. I like how wispy this looks. It's very cloud-like. Just look at that. So neat. I think I got about 3 more stitches before I need to think about tying a knot somewhere. I made it almost all the way back. A little bit of exposed black felt there. I'll just fill that in when I come by it with my gray thread on the way back. Alright, I think that's... I need a little bit of extra thread to be able to tie a knot in here, so I'm gonna quit there. Alright. I like the thickness of the 3 threads quite a bit, so I think I'm going to continue with that. Where did I... Here. Oops. Pull my knot right out. Weird. See if I can catch that little spot of black that I left here. A bit better. Not hugely better, actually. There. Whoops. I'm trying to make my stitches end sort of underneath some of the stitches that are already there to make it nice and blendy, perhaps. Almost becoming too regular now. I think I'm sort of getting into the habit, and that's bad. Change it up a little bit. It's turning out quite alright. Kind of lost track of where the bottom of this section is because the chalk lines are just about gone. Oh, wait, actually I have a silver paint marker that might work better. And haha. It's not gonna come out, but it doesn't matter because it's silvery and it's on a moon. I think I can just... It's a very thick line though. Yeah. Let's see if I can sort of dot this out. Something like that for the first cloud. And something like that, and something like that. There. Now it's never gonna go missing. I'm gonna try to do slightly longer stitches because I feel this is looking a bit, I don't know, too fluffy and not wispy enough. Also, I'll be done faster if I make longer stitches. That's a bonus. No, of course, I immediately get punished by pulling my... What? I pulled my thread out of my needle and I'm very stuck on something. Or is that my previous stitch? What is this whole loopy business on the back? What is this? What are you? How did you get here? What? Ah! Ah, I think that's it. Now at least it looks neat. Alright, I think we're safe again. That was a bit weird. Oh no, there's still a loop. What is this? It felt like I was fixing it, but maybe I stabbed, oh, maybe I stabbed the next stitch through the previous one, and that's what's making it get caught now. I'm gonna take this out. See if that helps. God. Talk about being lazy and immediately get punished. Mistake. I thought I could pull this out because it's supposedly it's my last stitch. What is going wrong when I pull this tight? What is it caught on? What is going on? It's caught in something here. Where even is my last stitch? Ah, it's this one, okay. Pull that out as well. Now where are we? This can go out like that. And now I think I can pull it tight. No? What? Ha! I think I fixed it. Well, if I did, why can I not pull this through? What is this? What is this witchcraft? Now I just have a bunch of loops on the front and no idea where to pull those through. Ah! I did something. But I feel that in theory, if you pull the end, you should get your last stitch right. How is it not this? What? Something is majorly tied up in something here. I'm very close to just taking scissors and ridding myself of this problem. But it theoretically can't be that hard to solve because, well, I did very sensible things to get here. I think I got something. Like something was across these threads and I pulled it and things moved. But now I still can't pull this, so still have no clue what's going on. I think I'm just gonna cut myself out of this problem now. I'm just gonna cut all the offending threads. And then poke at the stitches on the front a bit to see which ones are gonna come out now. Definitely this one. And that one. More is coming out than I thought. Maybe I made this mess on the previous row from that side in. In theory, there's a loop that I cut that should come out as a short piece, but that's not happening. What sort of thread? It's just this standard embroidery thread stuff. I got it all tangled up. I think I'm gonna use scissors in case of emergency solution once again. And just cut all of this from the surface. And just start with a fresh thread. Try to cover it up. And that should hopefully solve my problems. Wait, I didn't also... Oh no, this is some of the white thread that I anchored here. No, that is not something I recently cut. Yeah, scissors. Where's my good scissors? I don't have good scissors. These. Okay, I'll just have to use these. Let me just cut it real short and embroider over it and forget about it. None of this ever happened. And if any more threads come out, I'm just going to cut those too. Alright. Ta-da! I am a professional. Okay, I got a couple more gray threads. But this is only 2. Maybe 2 is fine as well. Gotta use them up at some point. I'll mix in one of these when... I don't know. No. Now I'm just getting nuts. Okay. That made no sense. Maybe I should wax it or something? Is that a thing with embroidery thread? Looks like a bemused face. What looks like a bemused face? My face? Or the moon's face? Oh yeah. Oh wait. If these are his eyes, he's looking like I'm feeling right now. But yeah, these we should have some eyebrows up here. I think that's where we're going. He's looking decidedly meh. He's not sure about the situation. Let's double check that I'm not making new tangles on the back. I split it. This is currently 2 threads. I was going to use 3, but I'd already used up 3 on the previous run and 1 to mix in with some other threads, so I had 2 left over and I wanted to use it up. Oh, and now of course I've done something weird and I need to take that out. So currently this is 2 threads and I'm going to go back to using 3 once I've finished this up. Alright, I think we're back on the road. No real tangles on the back right now. I'm just letting the thread needle hang for a minute. Oh yeah, it is like sort of letting it like spin. That makes sense. Wow. Remember when about an hour and a half ago I was complaining about how slow doing the beads was? This is way slower than the beads ever were. And I'm definitely not finishing it this stream. Because I was planning to stream for about another 4 minutes. So I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna finish this by any stretch of the imagination. But hey, I got started. I learned things. I tried things. I'll have to finish it some other time. Where did this little white thread come from? I don't want you here. I think you're from the garbage I just cut. Go away. Please leave. Yeah, I was also just starting to flip it over to make sure I wasn't messing it up again, because that's what happened the first time, I think. I just wasn't paying that much attention and something 3 stitches ago went wrong, and then I stitched through it a couple of times with my new stitches, and then we all had a cry. I think I've got a few more stitches before it's too short to tie a knot into. Stop somewhere over here. You're very welcome. Thank you for hanging out with me in the chat. It really makes it a lot easier to sit here for 3 hours putting beads on a needle. There's some people to talk to. Alright, I think I can do one more stitch. It's starting to look like something. Let's pull this back through. Take a few backstitch on top of each other. Yeah, what I've been doing on the previous one, and maybe you can tell me whether that makes sense or not, is I just been weaving it through a couple of the stitches that are there on the back. I just sort of go underneath them. And then call it a day. Alright. I'm gonna do one more bit of the gray because I wanna feel like I got something done. I'm gonna take a bit more. Hello. Please, let's not get stuck. No! No! I don't know what you're doing, but I don't like it. Just want this one thread. Can I have this one thread, please? I feel like I'm making it worse. Wait, if I just pull it gently and I see which one it is, it's this one. I'm gonna pull it in the other direction. Haha! I win. You're often asleep when you start? So you are probably in the US somewhere? Yeah, I know that it's sort of early in the morning for US, but it's afternoon, sort of before dinner for me. I've considered streaming in the evening, but I feel like it would just be too... like, the light would be bad, and I would be tired, so... I think this is the latest I can really do. But thanks for showing up in the morning. Alright, I think this is somewhat reasonable. So let's split this into 3 and 3. And then when I finish one length of this, I'm gonna head off and make dinner. Ooh, this is coming apart very cleanly. I love it. San Francisco? Oh yeah. West Coast is even worse than East Coast for the time difference. Wait, I'm doing it wrong again. I should be coming in from the back. Oops. Just sit in a way so you can actually see what I'm doing, maybe. I'm getting pretty hungry, but I want to finish this block. I'm not sure if I can finish it before I give up for food, but I want to feel like I got somewhere. And then I'm gonna need to watch a whole bunch of other people's streams to sit and finish this. Because dang, embroidery takes a while. I think this is why I don't do this hobby. She says, as she spent probably 100 hours making a stupid light-up corset. I don't know. Sewing just feels like you're making more progress because the pieces are bigger. I do think that this whole just sort of do whatever stitch is looking nice and wispy and cloudy, so that's a plus. What is couching? I have no idea. Is that an embroidery stitch thing that I should know? I feel like I maybe heard it before. Let me just Google that. Embroidery couching. Oh, so it's when you lay some thread flat and then stitch tiny stitches over it? Huh. That could look nice and splotchy. It's also, I guess, a way to sort of blend colors if you're... It's an interesting technique, but I'm not sure. I guess if you take a really thick thread, you can get it filled in. If you make the couching kind of poofy, you could fill it in quite quickly. A 100 messages. Okie dokie. It's because you've been nice and chatty. Didn't know it was worth a trophy to talk to people, but hey, I'll take it. I feel like I'm getting kind of close to the edge of this cloud. Maybe I'll finish it. Man, I really underestimated how long this was gonna take. But maybe I won't be able to finish the entire thing on the stream, but it'll be pretty close. I'm not even halfway, I think. Looking at how much time this little bit of embroidery took me. I think I'm going to do the bottom edge first and then fill in the gap. So I want to get a kind of crisp-ish line for that. Then I will have decided where it goes. And I don't have to kind of look at the dots that I made. Okay, I think I can do this. Now I'm really closing in on it. Let's do this. Start with the embroidery samples for the Worth gown. 4 tiny triangles in 15 minutes, needed 40. Wow. I mean, supposedly you'll get a bit faster at it as you do more of them, but that is not even near what you want to be doing, I think. It kind of echoes that story from Kathy where she started doing stuff for the peacock gown and then realized it was going to take her 30 years or something close to that. Like, Worth probably had a whole team doing that stuff for him, instead of just one person. I do feel that I've picked up the pace a little bit. Yeah, exactly. I guess I shouldn't hate on this, since it's the first time I'm doing it and it's probably not as bad as I'm experiencing it right now. Yeah, if only. You know, it also just... Oh, that's a path to take. If you're like, yeah, it might take me forever, but I want to, then go for it. I know it's satisfying to do stuff that takes a long time. Like, when you finish it, it feels really good. Alright, I think that's it for the gray cloud. There's going to be another wispy bit of cloud over here-ish. And here, with, I think, these 3 colors. But I'm going to do that after I've had dinner, and I'm going to do it off stream. So, for the people who weren't there at the start and who totally missed the whole thing with the LED and the battery and stuff, I'm going to just demo how that is going to work at some point. So, underneath the large cabochon, there is a tiny LED, and I've stitched it on with conductive thread. So this thread is actually the positive and this is the negative for that LED on the back. So what's going to happen is that there's also going to be a battery holder, and I'm going to snip this this, what is it, clasp pin. I'm going to cut it in half and separate it so that it's only conducting electricity when you close the pin. And so that's going to be the on-off switch, basically. And so one of the ends of the LED is going to go to the pin. As I wrap it in there a little bit. For demonstration purposes. Let's get my needle out of the way before it throws everything off. And then there's a little resistor to make it not empty out so fast. Let's wrap a little bit of thread around that on the other side. Oops. And then we've got the battery here, where the plus is this side, I think. And the pin goes there. And then it lights up! Ta-da! I think you can see that on the stream. Yeah, you can. And also that, because the cabochon is glow in the dark, this is going to actually charge it. So you could also, I guess, switch it off. Beep. And then it will keep glowing for a bit. So yeah, that's the plan. Which leaves the question, what I'm going to do for next stream. Whether I'm going to leave this for a week and continue next week. Or whether I'm going to finish this and get back to my waistcoat next week. I think I'm going to do this. Because I feel that doing the whole... I still need to solder some of these things together. And I think it's going to be more interesting. I'm going to also do finishing the back with some extra fabric and beading around the edge. I think it's going to be more interesting than stitching lining into my waistcoat. So expect this next week. And then probably then I'll be able to finish it, hopefully, maybe. Maybe I'll fill in some of the clouds during the week, so I don't have to worry about being able to finish it at all. The moon is about to eat the glowing orb. Yes, it goes nom 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 nom. Exactly. That's... maybe I should have put 3 stars so it doesn't look like a face. Anyway, thanks all for hanging out. I'm gonna make some dinner. And I will hopefully see you next week, same time, if you're not still sleeping in San Francisco. So I'll see you later.